Hi guys, we're going to take a look at Trump's birthday and I'm going to try out this new oracle, the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Warning, all I did was put on red lipstick to show my Viva la Resistance. All right, so this is the booklet that comes. Okay, and yes, Radiant Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Okay, I'm resuming. I'm pulling some cards here, and it's very interesting. This is all new to me. The first four cards he's getting are eccentricity. This is the Radiant Sun Oracle, and I'm going to look that up. Secrets, defense, and it's got the soldiers on there and everything. And impulsiveness. So let's just see what message we kind of get, and let's touch in what the meanings are on these cards. So let's see. This is 11 and 8. Is that right? Oh, but of course it's not going to be. All right, let me put this on pause till I. Well, this is so interesting looking at the meanings of these cards. And in general, this eccentricity card is talking about him choosing to do odd things, you know, like going against what was told about sending troops, that they weren't needed, and he ignored all of it. And he was made aware. He chose to ignore it. So his odd little ways of deliberately choosing something else is coming up. And so were and are his choice to use military to show them off. He doesn't want to use them per se, is kind of what these two cards speak about. Oops. This is it would be Mars and Taurus and Mars and Aries. And Mars in Taurus is defense and Mars in Aries is impulsiveness. And it shows his own egotistical impulsiveness to ignore advice and choosing instead just out of his own ego and sudden whim to go against good sense. Oh, he looks foolish. So I'm looking at like his birthday, and it's just like the hangover from what he did with the military is still affecting I think going to affect his parade. It's going to be weird and eccentric to his own tastes. The secrets card I was just getting to, which is Venus in Scorpio. It accompanies that eccentricity of Saturn in Aquarius, which was the first eccentricity card. So here's secrets. Let me see if I can find that. Let me pause this. Okay, I think I finally have the cards in the book finally set up. So I just kind of read about the eccentricities card and now the secrets card. The Venus in Scorpio carries love, self-control, regeneration. There's secrets, deep secrets from the past. And it says that if you get this card, it's indicating that there's a deep secret being held, or is being hidden from Trump, maybe by someone very close. And it has to do with his ways, the things he needs, his peculiarities. Makes me feel like, why are we being told that? There's the person that has to handle the parade certainly would have to know about that and deal with that. Um, and it has some sort of it's saying, let's see, it's like pent up energy for him. And that can be based upon um a lack of intimacy, going on, having celibacy. I'm just reading here. Don't want to get too into it, but most people know that Scorpio rules the sex drive, the sex organs, this sort of thing. Um, and it's a way of channeling that kind of energy in a different direction to make him remind himself that he's a really um, great guy, whatever. It's like, ew, okay. So it's a deep secret held by the questioner, and there's people that are close that know it. He's got some weird things. He's got some weird stuff. And I think the people setting up this parade got to be part of that. Yeah. And it shows this, especially about the defense. I think he's going to be in a snit about that. It shows his act of impulsivity. It looks like it's just for show. And certainly the parade is just for show. And it's hastily perhaps put together. There's a lack of because there's a lot of impulsiveness here too with him, and changes. Okay, so let's go to the other part. Um, Having to do with a lack of self-regulation and self-will, and instead like shooting first and then taking questions later, this sort of thing, asking questions later. It's an impulsivity that he just has no self, uh he refuses to control. It's not that he can't, it's that he does not. It's very deliberate. It's action. He's gotten two cards here in Mars. So he's using the military to prop up his dead libido. And he's got some weird secrets that could maybe come out. Maybe that's why we're being kind of shown them. And he's using, I think, the military stuff definitely to prop himself up so that he feels good. But there's also cards here about potential of playing with the stock market, where the defense card is concerned here. Oops. And the impulsive card here of the Mars in Aries, self-will and taking action. So his action in sending them was really flimsy, and he knew and was intending them to send them more as to show off, to intimidate, than so much as them really being needed. That's what this message is telling me. And I think this is what is going to be on his mind during his parade. Manipulation. Even kind of looks like him. So we have manipulation, discrimination, that's certainly been going on, and the enthusiasm. He's going to be like Louis the 14th, you know, he thinks it's his day in the sun. He thinks he's some kind of king. So he'll probably be pretty barf worthy. Cringe fest. Probably would be good to watch it for a laugh or maybe to vomit. I don't know. And we're looking at fulfillment. But there's revenge. There is a card of revenge that comes in. So Trump will go into his parade looking for fulfillment and enthusiasm. And look at the money. There is some financial aspect of this that I think he's hoping to exploit. Keep getting that message with these. I'm just first time I've used them, these cards. The revenge that comes in with Mars in Scorpio and with exaltation. I expect a really cruel speech, perhaps, of his intention of revenge. And it's a desire to intimidate mostly for revenge, too, I think, with that exaltation. There is patience. Is this an act of revenge by him or someone else? You know, I never know because he loves revenge so much. It could be him putting revenge up on a pedestal during his birthday, which wouldn't surprise me. Um, Especially with the military to show off his quote unquote power, but it's not really his power. But for him and his fantasy, that's what this is for. It's to make him feel like a big boy. There's a quarrel. There is some kind of fight going on. Now, I don't know if this is going to pertain to the fight that he's got going on with California. That might spoil his birthday for him, or if this is something new that could come about during the parade itself, where someone may come seeking revenge. We have been warned of that. Just, I think it's something just to go, that's possible. Okay. So we've got someone that's also patient, that is being very patient or patience, and there's some kind of quarrel, as I said. Let's see what else we get. Devotion. And that's in Saturn in Libra. And versatility. The sun in, I think it's Gemini. Or he is a Gemini. I'd say it could be another attempt, or it could just be his mind is focused on really trying to take revenge on California, Gavin Newsom. Um, and I think really saying so at his birthday, showing off. However, Gavin is a Libra, and I'm seeing devotion with a Saturn and Libra card. Yeah, just I don't know if there's any connection there. And the Sun in Gemini. And we know that Trump is a Gemini. So I think there could be some changes with this versatility and a change maybe in devotion of among some. So he could lose some support, more support by people perhaps in California that have supported him um, with his persistence and what he actually may say during this parade. I wonder. And I'm saying this on Thursday, June 11th, 2025. Getting something about romance and riches. He wants to be the ladies' man, the wealthy man, the big man that day. And I do keep getting a hint that there is a female he is trying to impress, one who knows some of these weird secrets he keeps. And I do feel like it's a female. So I'm going to pause there. I'm going to grab another deck and read more on his birthday. Okay, so let's see. How will his birthday parade go? This is Oracle of the Rose that I'm using. How will Trump's birthday parade go on Saturday? How will he end up feeling about it? How's it going to go off, let's say? Will it be everything he's dreamed of and more? And if you're curious about the color I'm wearing a red Viva la Resistance red lip. And it's called Bad Reputation by NARS. Okay. This is Rabbit Hole. And Night Garden. People are going to be people are going to be preoccupied with other secrets of his. That Night Garden. He's just going to have faith. There's the card of faith. I think that it's going to go as he wants, but there's an epiphany. There is some kind of either leak or something that will be very clear. And especially where theories are concerned about stuff that he's up to behind closed doors, shall we say, there is something that will become clear. The lighthouse. And listen. I think that there's a lot to be gained by paying attention to what he says, the looks and the tones of people's faces, what's going on, to understand the truth, whether or not they're telling the truth. Look closely, read in between the lines with whatever it is that he ends up posting on his birthday the things he's saying. Of course. But there's the tower here. And this is not the type of tower that's a good tower. This is the tower that brings a collapse or something unexpected. And wisdom. Well, that certainly would be unexpected at a Trump parade. There could be an emergency where real wisdom is needed. And I don't think it's going to be there because it's not in the building. It's at the Trump parade. I see a Queen of Fire, a woman, and that's alone and solitude. And I get carousel, someone that feeling of spinning your wheels, maybe going round and round, but not really getting anywhere. Like it's a game to someone. And set in stone. Carousel set in stone. What an oddity. Something that you can be sure of is that it's not going anywhere. Well, we get the cards of integrity and journey and storm. I think they're going to want to talk about his life as some kind of being full of integrity, or look at what he's accomplished, kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think there could be some kind of conflict here because we do get storm. I think there's protesters that will be out there saying, no, he's not. Boo, things like that. And you're looking at rose-colored glasses. This is not the truth. This is not the real him. But with storm and rose-colored glasses, I think those that have worn them might have them pulled off by these recent events. That's a real feeling. And especially maybe with watching the parade and maybe what he says. Maybe he'll say something about veterans or when he hasn't even properly cared for those he deployed and put in harm's way needlessly for nothing. Not even a proper place to sleep and wash up and rest was sorted out. What a mess. And they're vulnerable. They're not properly resting and they might make a snap decision. Who knows? We get beginnings and balancing act for him. Trump is going to be on a really slippery slope here. Yes, this is a significant beginning of erosion for him. That comes clear. And his parade will be a success only in the eyes of the less and less that wear the glasses, I mean, it will be those that still wear the rose-colored glasses, which is becoming less. I think there's more and more, just enough, and maybe some reporters and things that have been pro-Trump that are going to become more and more disliking of the route he's going and what he's doing. And that might take him by surprise. Because I think doing so and what he's going to persist with this, I think not everyone's going to be on board and okie dokie with it. I think he's going to have some of his loyalists balking at what he's done with the military this way. Will Trump regret sending in the military and ignoring the request not to have them come? Will he regret what he's done? We get the full moon. He's going to be exposed. Lighthouse and investigated. This is going to, I think, look deeper. It's like there's more to it than just what is on the surface. He tries to give the carousel, I think, to waste people's time so that they tire out and don't continue to persist and follow through with things. But this isn't going to be one of those cases. And there is, listen, so people are actually going to be scrutinizing, I think, this waste of sending the troops, I believe, on a for no good, and the waste of taxpayer money. Duh. It's what we've tried to tell conservatives that claim to want to save us money, but somehow they don't can't find their calculators when it comes to these crazy needless spending uh, jags that the Trumps put on, like for this parade. Who the hell? We've never had a president have a parade for his birthday. It is obnoxious and tiresome and childish. It is not the acts of a secure grown man. So there's focus, but it's not the kind that Trump wants. Looking for integrity, looking for any good reason, can't find it. Boundaries, laws, things that matter, limitations that are official and you don't just run roughshod over. It says free yourself and boundaries. This was also, in my opinion, here trying to encourage crazy behavior out of people, trying to get people to bust out and do really violent, crazy acts. But people didn't, a lot of people didn't fall for it. And they stayed within the boundary of peaceful protest. But they're being baited. That's it. Innocence and the emperor. People that are innocent dealing with authority and an unjust use of power, abuse of power against the innocent, which includes children in the community that are being separated from their parents. There is epiphany again. So there is some new understanding getting through. I think finally getting through to some people. Yeah, where secrets are concerned. So, oh my gosh, I think with Epiphany and secrets with the High Priestess, there's going to be that thing of a leak about Trump and his weird habits and his perhaps as a distraction, I don't know. But it also might be in some way that is significant, perhaps with his decline, things that people are trying to keep quiet about him. There is also, I believe, sudden clarity and awareness, perhaps within people that have been foolish that have followed him. There's a collapse of power. I think in the eyes of some, his power might end up being hollow for sending the troops the way he did and how he's acted afterward. I think it's gonna put some people off. And it kind of again erodes those that have supported him out from him. Yeah, dark moon. And it causes with Tower and Dark Moon, I think there's uncertainty after of what to do amongst some of them, perhaps, and a lot of fear. I think it's also them understanding that he's trying to topple government um, with overextended acts like this. It's going to become more clear to them, and that he is doing things that are dark moon. Release. You know how we had free yourself? Free your mind, think for yourself also. Duh. Don't believe what he says. So I think more people coming awake and aware. Release and rose glasses. Again, I think people and some of those that have stuck by him all this time and perhaps since the 2016, I think they're going to be really, some of them are with this birthday thing. It's going to be, it's going to hit them the wrong way. It's going to hit them the wrong way. They're going to realize that he's no strong man, that he's a con man. And they're not going to like this birthday celebration stuff. Remember, okay, we have the elephant. I think people, especially that are, like I said, old enough to remember that there's never been any other president that's done this. They may not like the way he acts, what he's him just doing it at all, which should be the first thing. But we get a queen of fire. So again, I feel like there's some women that are going to come for him on this. And it could be Democratic women that also point out you've never had. This could be a Jasmine Crockett. Tick tock makes me feel like he's nudging that clock to his day of departure. And we get leap of faith. It's he's just doubles down. There's no good reason for things, and he acts like he doesn't need to have them with that leap of faith. So TikTok leap of faith, I think perhaps more people also leaving his being enamored by him. We get gentlemen, disconnected. Yep. I think more men not liking this that have followed him apparently, not liking it. They're going to feel like it's very uh like where did this come from? What's this about? They're a little late, but I think it's just not going to land well. All that soulmates, this MAGA stuff, Ooh, death, the end. I think this will sour a further number of once very, very staunch reporters, not reporters, but supporters of his. I don't think they're going to like this look. he loses their support. It's only going to be the most blind of the blind, I think, at the end of the day, really tending to follow him by the time he is really out. But this is, again, a significant loss to him. And I believe it's a loss of support publicly. And I get set in stone. I think it's meant to happen and grounded. People perhaps not with their heads in the clouds quite as much, becoming maybe a little more grounded and sensible, I hope. Communication. Yeah, I think people are going to be expressing themselves on social media about this and beginnings. Perhaps we should look for more signs of disenchantment among his base, which loosens things up a lot, despite what we might be aware of. There's significance. And I get Cupid, intuition, the sun is going to be exposed, and there's travel and perhaps means of travel. Maybe we get to look back at the jet again and things like that, or his travel, what he spends, what is spent on this parade. But we can't afford to feed children that need a school lunch. Again, he's going to find himself on a tightrope balancing act, walking on eggshells. More women as well that are making the point of empathy. Look at here's his parade. It's going to really, I just don't think it's going to be a good look for him. Surprise. And it's actually going to cause him even more loss of support. Okay. And I think he should probably be careful. There's that energy of revenge, and you know, there could be people that would like to act, but I see also patience. So I think they're going to try to probably go for him at a time when it's probably not as big of a deal like his birthday, his third birthday. He acts like, and that's, I don't want to insult toddlers because they're that reason for a good reason. Biologically, they are that way. He is not. He chooses to be this way. All right. Let's see, one more card. What else, guides? What else should we know about Trump and his parade? Is he going to be really happy with his parade afterward, or is he going to be complaining? Will Trump be happy with his parade? I'm getting knowledge. Certainly can't be him. I get grounded, emerge, and be. You're going to see a grotesque demonstration of wanting to be the king, wanting to be the emperor. And it's the way they've set this up because I think he's going to have had a really strong say in it, representing him. I have a feeling, though, that the people that are putting this on don't have the knowledge exactly to pull it off. People are going to be looking into this with the lighthouse. I'm sure like the cost and whatnot. I think religious folks may not like this too much. I get faith. There could be something more that could come out from one of them saying how much this cost, how you could feed so many people that are in need and hungry children, etc. Could be things like that. The tower, it's just not a good look. It uh, pulls support out from underneath him, crumbles support and strength, and rabbit hole. Not only does he get the tower, but then holes. There's all the secrets, I think, start revealing themselves and opening up. So this could be a really hot time beginning after this parade of all kinds of leaks and from different sources uh, connected to Trump and about his behavior. Could get crazy. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Thumbs up if you appreciate it. Thank you.